Hello, everybody. It's me, Stephen Billings, and of course, our co-host Andrew Cabral over here. How you doing, man?
Hello, everyone. Doing good, Stephen. Doing good.
Good. We've made it. We are in 2023.
We are. I can't believe it's 2023. I never thought. I never thought of this year ever.
I never thought I'd live this long.
that as well. But this is kind of a unique video for us. We've never really done this before. It's kind of a preview of things to come, or a state of the YouTube channel aspect of Chasing Labels, and we got a few plans in the works.
Yeah. So it's been something we've been talking about for a while. We've always wanted to, since we converted Andrew's channel from Cabzilla Productions to Chasing Labels, the intention was to always start utilizing his channel, to do more supplementary things for Chasing Labels, whether it be review videos, things like that. And the more I've sat with it, the more I started throwing ideas to Andrew about what can expand our reach, what could we do to get more into the community. And the more we've did some work with other channels and things like that, we've realized that we need to get a little bit more into the YouTube space, to connect with more of you physical media fans that love to see what we're talking about, not just hear what we're talking about. And because sometimes we'll have visual elements that you'll like, or we're doing our interviews, of course, and you like to see the faces that we're talking to. So yeah, this video is us kind of giving you some ideas of what 2023, what things we're going to implement, some changes we're going to make, and also a couple new ideas that we're thinking about doing for some regular video shows that we're going to do going forward. So Andrew, the changes.
Yeah. So these were all things that I think both Stephen and I have been thinking about for a while. I know I have, and Stephen, when Stephen brought them up, I was like, yeah, I'm on board with them, because they were also things that have been brewing in my mind as well. First and foremost would be, clip outs or video clips from, the episodes that you hear every week if you are listening, the Chasing Labels podcast. And mostly those clip outs would be of certain interviews we do with certain individuals that people are aware of or maybe not aware of, or people that that we find very, very interesting. It'd be cool to see, how we interact with certain guests and whatnot. When we have certain segments of like certain lists and things like that, those are also things as well, because oftentimes you do hear me just grab certain movies and then hold them up, and then nobody can really see them except for us talking. So that is definitely something that's going to be on the horizon, which is nice for us, because we're already in the process of doing the show anyway, so we're just taking that stuff and putting it on here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a logistical thing. We do the show, and it's not a live show, and that's one thing that won't change, at least for now, is that our regular weekly show. I still don't really want to do that as a live show, because it's just not conducive to how we like to do the show. I don't. We're not trying to, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but we're not trying to interact with the fans during what we like to do. The way our show is constructed, we're really trying to focus on what we're talking about. And and when we have guests, we're talking with the guests. And
right.
I just feel like it's safe for us to do it. And I still feel like the Blu-ray announcement part of it, where we talk to movies and things like that, I like it just being me and you, and letting you guys hear us talk about that.
Yeah.
And
it makes the show. I mean, the show is already, can go long depending on the amount of announcements.
Yeah, and we don't even talk about
all
everything.
That kind of stuff. Yeah, we already talk a lot in general, and it's already a logistical and difficult thing to just keep all of that under wraps, let alone to have to worry about a live feed, because then you're kind of worrying about all kind of extra things like, am I saying this right? And you won't have the benefits of editing, and
Yeah, I
sometimes
was
there are
gonna say
guests who want you to edit stuff, and so
sometimes,
it's just easier to keep everything going the way it is when it comes to the way we record the show.
Yeah, I just like the option to edit things and make sure that the audio portion of the show is
It's
typically at its
good.
best,
Yeah.
is at the best quality. And if we
Yeah.
do a
Because
live show, it kind of takes away some of that a little bit. And I just don't, I like there's a little less pressure with a live thing
yeah,
when it
and
comes to that
oftentimes we
show.
do have to edit audio stuff when it comes to just, volume sound, and sometimes there's background noise you got to get rid of. Sometimes there's echoing. Sometimes there's all kind of things that you can do in post that'll show up live for
Yeah, yeah.
maybe.
And it's just I like I don't I like how we do that. I like the way that show is, and I don't want to mess with it. But like Andrew said, we moving forward, we do think that we would like to bring the interviews to you guys in a video form that you guys can enjoy that if you like separately, and see us and see who we're talking to. And we'd like to try doing that moving forward and see how you guys like that at least. And I mean, for me, and I've said this before, the main thing with me is a show of that length that's typically 2 to 3 hours long. I just think works better as an audio podcast, and that's where most people are going to enjoy it. Some people like to hang out on YouTube for many hours, and that's great. But I just think I think the show lives better mostly audio. But the interviews, definitely hour-long interviews that we typically do, is typically around an hour long, or little segments we can definitely clip out and start putting them on YouTube so you guys can enjoy that visually. But that's kind of the main changes to what we already do. We do have a couple. One's something we've done before, and we kind of had to leave it behind for a little while because of my home situation. And that's the unwatched pile. So we did this in our Facebook group, which is a private group, and we really enjoy that idea of the show. But we kind of kept it as like a exclusive to the group. And then you would get like an audio portion later. So you could hear it later. But now I think what we're going to do is we're going to transition it over to the YouTube channel. And with that, I think we might try this show as a live show, because it's something where it's just me and Andrew, unless we try to entertain maybe having a guest on one of these days. But for now, I think just me and Andrew, and at least to begin, we're going to, instead of what we did in the group was we let people vote on we'd give them a selection of like 5 films, and they would vote out of the 5 films which 2 films each of us would talk about and watch and get it out of our unwatched piles. And instead, I think for now we're gonna leave it up to ourselves to pick what we want to watch out of our unwatched piles, so that not only can we surprise you, but we can just feel more comfortable about what we're getting into, because sometimes you're not watching something because you're just not ready to watch it, or maybe it's really long, or for many reasons. So
Yeah, very much so. And coincidentally, I've always wondered if we were ever going to revisit the unwatched pile, and I guess we are. And that was a
yeah,
surprise to me today as well, because we left that in a bit of a limbo because we were doing it, and
yeah.
then your baby was born, and then it was just like we couldn't
Then we didn't
work it
do
into the schedule.
it.
We couldn't work it back in after that long time. I barely remember the movies that we were supposed to watch.
I know.
But I
I
mean,
know.
we'll probably pick things up differently.
Yeah, we'll pick things up randomly. I think Changeling was one of the ones I was supposed to watch, and then it was something else out. But yeah, so we're gonna. I think that show will be like a once a month show.
Kind of
You
like it
know,
was before.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it was before, and instead it'll be open for everybody. And it'll be an audio version as well. We'll have this. We'll do it live streaming on YouTube. We'll announce a day. It'll probably be towards the end of the month. So we'll be picking our first unwatched pile films probably here in the next week or so, and then we'll have our first live show at the end of this month, where both me and Andrew will have 2 movies. We'll have double features from both of us of 2 new movies we've watched out of our collection, films that we have not watched that we own in our collections, that we just now we need
We
to
just
get around
haven't
to it.
gotten to yet.
Yeah. So the unwatched pile will be something you could almost say is a new show that we'll be starting to do monthly, and do that live here on YouTube so that we can interact with you as well. Yeah, that'll be I think another great addition to, because I think the cool thing about that show is it just not only is it it helps us uh, be better collectors. We're watching our films in our collection, but also um, it helps. It might even help motivate some of you guys to take a second, Don't look at the new announcements, which are us pushing them in your face if you listen to our show, and take a break from that. And then, just watch something on your shelf. I mean, it's good. It's good to not just let them sit there. But so the last thing we want to update you on is another new show idea. And this one I'm really excited about because I think it's a fun idea. And this one I think will be really really good for doing a live show. Because that's kind of the main purpose. I wanted to figure out something where we could, because like I said, we're trying to get more involved in the community, and it's something I thought would be fun. We needed something that would be a fun idea, but it was also not a burden on us, something that make us feel like we were overworking ourselves, that we're, needing to get really ready for something that was pretty loose. And so another new show that we're going to probably do, I would say realistically, I think this show could be a every other week thing, because it's not really labor intensive. But maybe for now we do it once a month just to see how it goes for now. And the name of the show will be called Film Fiction. And so Film Fiction will be a show where me and Andrew, maybe sometimes a guest, who knows, and it'll be a live show. And so the show concept will be literally anything you want to fantasize about when it comes to film. Two actors you've never seen act together in a movie. What would the movie be? Come up with an idea for a movie. Directors from any era, dead or alive, just random conversations about fantasies you have that, and this idea spawned from the many times on Chasing Labels where I'll be like, I kind of look at this as a sequel to that movie when they don't even connect. For instance, we had the Canadian International Picture guys on, and we were talking about their new release, Mindfield. And I was like, you know what? This movie is now my official, unofficial Scanners sequel, because it has the same vibes.
I do recall you saying that.
Yeah, it has the same vibes. It has what's his name in it? I'm blanking
Michael
on the name
Ironside.
of it. Michael Ironside in it, and so there's the connection. Another one is recently I talked about Die Hard and about how I look at 16 Blocks as a Die Hard sequel. Things like that. Like we could do a show where we just, shoot the shit and we talk about random fantasy, film fiction stuff, things that we, just any random thing. And so we could spend maybe an hour or so just having fun, drinking some beers. I got some beer here tonight. Just talking about fun fan fiction stuff. What do you think about that? I pitched that to you. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, he just dropped that on me like an hour ago. It's a cool, fun idea. I just like it's an idea that I think is kind of is born out of just a lot of just random conversations that people have, like film fans will have. I know Steve and I have gone on and on for many a long time just talking about random things when it comes to movies, and that kind of sounds a lot like it. I mean, just bringing up certain movies or just talking about different topics and whatnot.
I mean, and I know on Chasing Labels, I know we feel, like I think you could be one that listens to us and think that we only watch certain types. We only watch movies that Boutique Labels will put out, but that's not the case. We collect mainstream films as well, and we are fans of mainstream things. Andrew's favorite thing in the world is Lord of the Rings.
Right.
So we could talk Lord of the Rings. We could talk Star Wars. We talk all that stuff. We'll talk Marvel movies if it comes to it. Like it's not out of our realm of ability to talk about.
I mean, we talked a lot about that stuff on the Cinema Discovery Project. We had whole episodes around different topics similar to this idea. It's kind of something that's I mean, you're bringing it up. It's kind of almost like a sequel idea born out of that podcast in a way.
It is, but I think we're a little bit more self-serious in that show. We were trying to be
educational,
informative.
Yeah. It's trying to I guess
so this is Cinema Discovery Project but drunk.
I guess so. I mean, there's a lot of ideas in there that I'm pretty sure a lot of people come up. I would love to kind of talk about maybe, look up movie projects that almost happened but never really did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a what if scenarios. Like what if David Lynch ended up directing Return of the Jedi? You know what I mean? What would that look like?
Would be fun to
be in it. Exactly.
What would be fun too is like scripts that were never like scripts that were written that were never
Oh
filmed.
yeah,
Like,
the
you know,
Darren Aronofsky Batman movie that was supposed to
yeah,
happen after uh Batman and Robin,
yeah.
you know,
What
or
what
the
would be
Wolverine.
hilarious? We should do
Yeah.
some line readings.
Oh geez.
You should get some of them scripts and do like pick some sections out of them and do like some line readings. Uh, from some of them films that never got made.
Yeah. Maybe that Darren Aronofsky Batman movie wasn't actually a thing. Maybe I'm thinking the Wolverine Darren Aronofsky. Anywho, see, I'm already thinking
He's
of
already
fictional
making
things
up
that may
shit.
or may
See,
not be true.
it's already film fiction right
Yeah,
there. He's
maybe that's
making up
already
shit.
film fiction for all I know. I don't know. I'm thinking of the Darren Aronofsky's recent movie. Maybe that's why he
I
popped
know
into my
there was
head.
rumors Darren Aronofsky was going to do a Batman movie, but I don't think it went anywhere.
I'm pretty sure he was supposed to do a Wolverine movie. You know that movie, The Wolverine, that ended up coming out?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think originally Aronofsky was gonna be doing that.
Really?
Like it was gonna be like Wolverine in Japan being like a samurai or something. Something that was kind of
Hmm.
similar to what happened in the comic books back in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I'm just bringing all that up now. I'm just thinking of random things in my
We're
head.
not doing film fiction yet. We're not
I
doing the
don't
show
know, but
yet.
that's the thing is Steven puts it into my head and then all of a sudden the wheels start turning.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the main ideas that we discussed very briefly tonight and very briefly sharing on here. And of course, we'll be working all of those into the usual chasing labels stuff that we've got coming up. We have a bunch of guests coming up in the very near future. Right away, we're um, starting the year off fast. I think, Stephen. I know we've got everything kind of lined up between this month and next month and going into March
Yeah,
as well.
I
So
got
things are
some guests
moving.
that I can't really announce yet that are some exciting guests
Yeah. Steven's
that I
Steven's already working.
yeah, I'm trying. Well, now that I got the schedule with the baby down, kind of, and we've decided, I've decided to start doing our show at times that are not necessarily conducive to my sleep, but make it so that we can do our show and I'm not encroaching on family time.
Right.
So it works fine. I get a little less sleep, but that's okay. I love doing the show, love talking with everybody out there. I hope to be able to talk with a lot more of you guys through live videos and stuff, and that'll be good.
Yeah, the
And
key is figuring out the logistics of the live feature and all that kind of stuff.
well, we'll get it done.
Um,
That's not. We'll
yeah,
we got
we're
a lot of
definitely
good
going to
people
be
that can help us with
yeah,
that.
and these announcements are already coming fast and furious, so none of that's slowing down anytime soon. I
Yeah.
feel like we're in for an even bigger year than last year. I've got that feeling already.
Who knows? But that's it for this update video. We just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update. Of course, don't forget Shelf Shock Rewind 2023 is coming up quick. You only got from now, this video, I think you got maybe another week or week and a few days to vote. So if you haven't gotten your votes in, go vote. It ends on the 15th. And of course, Shelf Shock Rewind will be February 19th, 7 p.m. EST. So get ready for that. Take that night off of work on Monday so that you don't, you'll be up late watching another show and you'll be so excited about what won that you'll need to take off the next day.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's it for this update video. We're excited about the things we're going to do. We hope you guys will be too. And keep on watching the movies.
I know I will.